morning, everybody. Today we have the pleasure to have here with us Dwight Klein with Equity First. Dwight has one specialty among many. It deals with foreign national loans. How are you doing today, Dwight?
Good. Good morning. How are you, Cleberto?
Well, I'm
How
doing
are you?
so great. Good to have you again.
Thank you for
Uh,
the invitation. It's a
that's
pleasure.
right. Appreciate it. Uh, Tell us about your company, about yourself, and the specialty that you have. And then I'm going to have a special question that everybody asks me.
All right. Yeah, fair enough. My name is Dwight Klein. I'm a loan originator, and I've been a loan originator or mortgage broker for the almost 20 years. And I work with Equity First Mortgage. And like you said, one of our specialties, it's foreign nationals. But besides foreign nationals, it's what we also call non-QM loans, portfolio loans, because most people are aware of the government loans, the FHAs, the VAs, the conventional loans, but many people do not qualify for these loans for whatever reason. So there's other lenders that we work with that can finance through other programs, such as bank statements, profit and loss, hard money, and then also there's the foreign national. So we have different programs, and that's our specialty is to qualify somebody that may not fit the government profile, the FHA, the conventional VA, but we also do them, but our specialty is those loans that you just mentioned.
Understood. You can do the regular stuff, FHA, you can do this specialty, but today we're going to focus just on the foreign nationals
The foreign
because
national,
our
correct.
clientele is 90% of foreign nationals. So what I would like to ask you is this. Uh, we get so many questions of people, foreign nationals, who have bank accounts here in the U.S., especially here in Orlando, and they ask, why not just go to Bank of America or Chase to get my loan?
That's a good question because most of the brick and mortar banks that most people are familiar with, like the Banks of America, the Chase, the Wells Fargo, for whatever reason, they don't offer that program. They don't cater to the international market. So we work with other lenders, and most of those lenders the headquarters are in Miami because Miami is the gateway to Latin America. And these lenders, their specialties for nationals, and they're very familiar with the international market, the exchange rates, the culture, the language barrier. So that's one of their niches, and that's the one that we capitalize, and that's one of our specialties because we, like you, we have staff that speak Portuguese, Spanish, and obviously English.
Okay, it sounds like it's, to me, from the experience that I've had with you, it's like it's a different product. You really need to understand a little bit more. It's not just like a domestic loan, right?
Correct. The guidelines are very similar, but the some of the for example, the down payment is usually higher on an FHA or conventional VA. An FHA is usually 3.5. Conventional, with 5%, it can go up to 20%, depending if it's a primary, a second home, or investment property. But with foreign nationals, usually it's 30%. I mean, we work with some banks, one bank in particular that can do with 25% down, but the interest rate's a little higher. So, but most lenders that cater to the international market, it's usually anywhere between 30 and 40% down, and the loans, the amortization is over 30 years. Whereas with Americans, the amortization is 30 years, but you have a choice. You can do 20, 15, 10. With foreign nationals, it's a 30-year fixed. And then the interest rates, it's usually these are ARM interest rates where the interest rate is fixed for a certain amount of time. So usually you have a 3 and a 5 and a 7-year ARM, but the most common is the 5-year ARM where the bank guarantees the loan up to 60 months. And then after that, you got 25 more years to pay the mortgage off. But then from after the 5th year, then it starts adjusting once a year. And it adjusts on the date of the anniversary of your closing. And the adjustment is based on a LIBOR on an index. Some banks use a LIBOR index, or some banks use the U.S. Treasury index, and your adjustment will be based on that particular index.
That's important because many foreign countries, sometimes, for example, the South American clients we have, they're kind of used to if they get a loan, they get a 5-year loan because they want to liquidate it. They want to make sure that
Correct.
they kill that. And when you say 30 years, they panic. I'm going to owe forever. And they fail to understand that you don't need to pay off a loan to sell a house.
That is correct.
So,
That's very
so,
important.
so if you are renting, it's nice to have a 30-year loan because your payment is low. So there's a chance
Correct.
that you're going to be cash flowing. So when you're ready to sell, you got appreciation, you can sell that way. We are more flexible here. Is that correct?
In many foreign countries, specifically like Brazil, because of the culture, you know, when they solicit for financing, they don't want a long-term contract, or they don't want to be tied to the fluctuations of the dollar. So statistically, if we're specifically talking about the Brazilian market, most Brazilians pay off the mortgage in 5 years anyway. Why? Because they use the financing just as a so they don't use all the capital. And then since most of these loans don't have a prepayment penalty, most foreigners, because the way it works, the banks they debit the monthly mortgage payment in 30 years. So if you don't send an additional payment, it's going to take 30 years to pay off the mortgage. But most foreigners, what they do is they send additional payments, and any payment besides the minimum mortgage monthly payment, then it goes towards the principal. And that's how many Brazilians or other foreign countries, every 3 months, every 6 months, they send $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 towards the principal. And then, they can program themselves so they can pay it off, within 3 years, 5 years, 6 years, whatever the time frame that they're comfortable and that they, they can afford to pay it off. That's mostly how it works.
Is there quite a difference between down payments, interest rates, and term we already talked, between a local domestic loan and the foreign national loan?
Yes. Most U.S. or residents, they can either apply or qualify depending on their needs and depending on the type of property they're buying, whether it be a conventional or an FHA. And then if you serve in the military, obviously go with a VA loan. But if you go with an FHA, the minimum down payment is 3.5%, and on a conventional is 5%. And then if the person that is applying for the loan is a veteran, then it's 100% financing. But whereas with foreign nationals, the down payment is a little bit bigger. It's usually anywhere between 30 and 40%, depending on the property, depending on the profile of the client, depending on the documents, the type of property. We work with some lenders that do 25% for foreign national, but the interest rate's a little higher. So, but the average is about 30% down versus, either 3.5 or 5%. And the interest is very similar, except the interest for an American, it's over 30 years fixed, whereas with a foreigner, it's fixed for their arms. Let's say most of them are fixed for 5 years. So, the rate between an American, I mean, if you're talking today's rate, obviously, a foreign national, one of the best rates that a foreign national can get today, July 15, 2021, would be at 3.5 interest rate fixed for the first 5 years. And for an American, they can get interest rates in the low threes for 30 years. That's basically the difference.
And the use of the home is important to, even for foreign nationals, they can get a loan for a primary residence, second home, or even a short-term rental or straight rental. Right?
Yeah, we work with both lenders that cater whether to be a long-term or short-term rental. As you well know, most of the foreigners, or at least the Brazilians, they prefer to buy homes in a vacation communities because they can use them once or twice a year, bring the family, and then the rest of the year they can either Airbnb it or hire a management company and rent it out and make it a business, that receive rent.
Well, thank you so much, Dwight. Just to wrap up, let's just talk about this past 12, 18 months that we had to reinvent ourselves because the world changed a little bit. In our company, we really had to change everything because of the borders are closed.
Correct.
Our clients cannot come here. The consulates are closed. They couldn't notarize documents. But we were able to put in place a system that they can actually buy without leaving their home today.
Yeah, you're the one who found that out. You're the one that.
Yeah, basically, they
closest thanks to you because you were able. It's the notary camp. it's
No,
no reason.
basically, the three main pillars are getting a loan. They can get a loan with you over the internet with the email.
Correct,
They
correct.
can transfer money with a transfer money company over the internet. The
Like
key,
Money Corp, they can use Money Corp and done.
yeah, or their own bank if they want. The
Correct. If
exchange
they
rate
get,
is
yeah,
not that great, but they can. The big difference was that to find a title company who would accept an online closing, that we suffered for months until we could get that. But we did. So that is resolved. So tell us about your industry.
well,
What
because
happened in the next less than
yeah, because a lot of industries, we and a lot of people got, they were unemployed. A lot of companies went down the tubes and went broke, whatever. The government obviously needed to do something to, bail out the economy or give incentives. And one of the advantages of what happened last year is that the government is maintaining the interest rates, and they've never been. I've been in the business almost 20 years, and I never seen the interest rate as low as now. And I think for the foreseeable future, looks like the federal government is going to maintain the interest rate just to keep up the, pumping the economy, get the business and the people investing, and that has created a boom in the real estate market here in Central Florida. And
So it sounds like it could be now an opportunity for
oh
some
yes,
of these foreign nationals when they analyze the interest rate, when they analyze what's going on with their exchange rate. It could differ from country to country, but it could be favorable, correct?
and also as you know better than me, the appreciation, it's increasing big time. So if somebody from overseas were to invest, and if at the rate of the percentages of the appreciation, they buy a property today, and next year it'll be worth a little more, and that's the so whatever the exchange rate, because maybe in their country the dollar went up or something.
For example, like I just said, the interest rates are good. They analyzing the exchange rate. Some countries why are we going this way? Some countries, no, for example, the British pound is recovering against the dollar. The
Right.
Canadian dollar is recovering. I just talked with a buyer from Canada this morning. They went away for a while. They said, we're coming back. So, well, thank you so much, Dwight, for being here with us. It's always a pleasure to have you and get education again. Thank you so much. Appreciate
No,
it.
thank you for the invite. Anytime you need me or us, or you have any of your clients have questions, please free to give us a call. Thank you. Appreciate
Make
it.
sure that you send your information so that when we post this on our YouTube channel, we are going to put below your information. Okay. And when we go to the YouTube channel, if you like this information, please go down below and subscribe to our channel. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Dwight.